mechanism to improve information management systems. The CRVS example, Farmers Registry, the National ID, and so forth. Strengthening the grievance redress mechanism. At regional level, regional social protection subcommittees, it is being recommended that these committees be strengthened for social protection coordination, monitoring, and learning at regional level. For local government authorities to mobilize resources to expand access and coverage for social protection. Considering all critical issues discussed during the 2023 International Social Protection Conference, the outcome statement is not exhaustive of important matters and will be subjected to review and update based on emerging issues. We once again reiterate our commitment of ourselves, the commitment of ourselves, I repeat, towards sustainable public investment in social protection. With that, ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Minister, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of the delivery of the outcome statement, and I thank you all for your kind attention.
So, P.S., I'll just keep you here with me so that we will do the official handing over. But we just apologize for those interruptions here and there, which is beyond our control. But I'm not sure if we have a representative from NAWEC. Do we have a representative from NAWEC? Or the energy sector? They are not here, but anyway, we will leave that to them. So we will just now allow you to hand this over to Mr. Suleiman Jallo, and we will invite the Honorable Minister for Environment and Climate Change to, when you hand over to Mr. Jallo here, he will hand it over to the Honorable Minister to hand it over to government for implementation. Yeah, so we can just take a picture here. Yes. Well, like the statement said, it is subjected to review and adding issues as emerging issues come. Yes, so you can just hand it over to the Honorable Minister of Environment and Climate Change. Thank you so much, and thank you to the participants for putting this document together. Yeah, so like I was saying, thank you so much to the participants for putting this document together. And hopefully, just to tease NAWEC, maybe we should have a portion where we talk about energy, increasing energy access. How should we call it? So we'll come up with that in subsequent engagements, right? Access to energy. But we will now invite the Honorable Minister for Environment and Climate Change to deliver her statement on behalf of the Vice President of the Gambia. Thank you so much for joining us. A round of applause for her.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. A very wonderful good afternoon to you all. I recognize the presence of P.S. Kodu, who has been also very active in the entire process of the secretarial as the permanent secretary for the ministry, for the office of the Vice President. The UN representatives here present would allow me to recognize WFP, the UNICEF, and the FAO. I want to inform all of you here that I am a beneficiary of the WFP food program. From primary 1 all the way to primary 6, no interruption. I still remember the Friday stew that we have for the corned beef. I don't know who among you can remember that. And the morning milk that we have with the biscuits. I still fully remember it as if it is today. Thank you for giving us all the right to achieve our education goals. And the EU ambassador, if present or not, we thank them for being a very close partner to this achievement. Other permanent secretaries here present. Of course, my former colleague governors, I can't miss you. And other deputy governors representing governors. The area council representatives. But I want to also recognize the presence of Nana. As the former committee member, PSC committee member, I know the role that they have played to support the establishment of this secretariat. International delegates, members of the private sector and civil society organization, all protocols duly observed, and of course, our able Madam Moderator. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a special good afternoon to you all. Not forgetting the media in front of us, very visible. I am honored to step in for His Excellency the Vice President, who is unavoidably engaged on other pressing national needs, to give the closing remark on his behalf for this important and first of its kind international conference on social protection in the Gambia. This occasion marks another milestone in the history of our country as we gather here to discuss a key development priority for the world in general and my government in particular, and as stipulated in the Sustainable Development Goals, the recently concluded National Development Plan of the Gambia, and the newly adopted Green Recovery Focus NDP of the Gambia. Let me express my gratitude to the organizers who have just been paraded in front of us for a wonderful and special organizing process, and also to our development partners in country and beyond. I equally wish to thank all the speakers, the resource persons from within and outside the country for graciously accepting our invitation, even in some cases at a very short notice. All these are reflections of a strong interest and support we all have towards improving the well-being of the poor and vulnerable people in the Gambia and the entire world. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the presentations we had in the last 2 days and the related discussions has given us an idea of the current state of financing and coverage of our social protection efforts, justifying for our collective conscience and commitment to do more for the well-being of our people. Like in many developing countries, the social protection sector in the Gambia is challenged by a number of issues. Key of this is inadequate funding, which limits coverage of social assistance services and social security schemes, weak or no legislative frameworks and coordination mechanisms, which affects, of course, the delivery mechanism, and this is indicated by the poor data and integrated monitoring and evaluation system that we have in the Gambia. The mic is behaving funny. I hope I'm not going to get in my tone of interruption. In our response to these challenges in the Gambia, government has formulated the National Social Protection Policy with the long-term goals of establishing by 2035 an inclusive, integrated, and comprehensive social protection system that will effectively provide protective, preventive, promotive, and transformative measures that will safeguard the lives of all poor and vulnerable groups in the Gambia and contribute to broader human development, greater economic productivity, and inclusive growth. Based on this strong belief and understanding, that progress in social protection has positive effects on several other sectors. The government of the Gambia has undertaken a number of important steps, including principally the establishment of a central coordinating mechanism, the National Social Protection Secretariat, to serve as an implementing arm of the National Social Protection Steering Committee in providing leadership, and the Social Protection Steering Committee in providing leadership and coordination across the country. I here thank the coordinator of the Social Protection Secretariat for a job well done these past years. The Secretariat has been executing this mandate by proactively working with all providers of social protection services at national, sub-national, and international levels. As you heard in the presentation of the National Coordinator in day one, the Secretariat has registered significant progress in several areas, including development of the Gambia Social Register and the production of an annual sector-wide report on social protection. Thank you for the coordination. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the directive to use the Gambia Social Register for targeting the China rice aid distribution, the NAFA cash transfer, the root projects, agriculture input, soft support, and cash transfer are indicators of the high level of importance that government attaches to addressing fragmentation and improving coordination in the sector. Let me at this point say that henceforth, all government institutions and development partners involved in supporting our vulnerable and poor people are encouraged to work hand in hand with the Secretariat. This will enhance synergy and ensure effectiveness and efficiency in the social protection service delivery in the country. It is important to note that Cabinet has approved what is going to become the first ever legislation on the Social Protection Bill for inaction. This important bill will help government to put in place the right institutional framework and long-term strategy necessary to facilitate the realization of the right to social protection in the Gambia. Similarly, enormous efforts geared towards improving welfare of the most vulnerable and the poor continues to be invested across education, the health sector, agriculture, environment, energy. So we'll start not only to have uninterrupted, but efficient and clean energy. Gender, the youth sector. Government stands ready to intensify these works to expand coverage to all the deserving people of our country, then leaving no one behind. By the same token, we call on our development partners to scale up support for the poor and vulnerable people in the Gambia by enhancing government support and increasing the funding gap. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, allow me to recognize the significant budget support of the European Union, which allowed government to strengthen its family strengthening program and increase coverage from 150, as stated by the coordinator, to 200 next year, and the upper year to 2,000, and then the upper year to 3,000. It is small in number, but I will tell you, as explained by the coordinator, looking at our size and a starting point, you grow small, you grow big, you start small and grow big. So I applaud our development partners, the EU, for helping us to grow big. I would also like to mention the contribution of the World Bank towards improving livelihoods through the example of the various social safety nets programs in supporting its various sectors in the Gambia. The UNRC for leading the UN's cooperation with government, and the World Food Program, whom I am a proud beneficiary, for the school feeding program and other livelihood enhancement intervention. Thank you for your partnership and long relationship with the government of the Gambia. The UNICEF for their continued support to the future of this country, especially women and children. And the UNDP for their commitment to ending poverty and improving human welfare in the country. FAO for the support to our farmers in our food security drive. Thank you. WHO for standing by our health sector and services for better health for our people. And again, the UNFPA for supporting our young girls and women, among others, and all other UN agencies and development partners for their unflinching support to the government of the Gambia and its people. Thank you all. I've not finished, I'm thanking the UN body. I have a long statement to give. This is the Vice President making statement. Thank you for your understanding. Given the current economic challenges of the Gambia and the development issues to address, the effective implementation of our national social protection policy and registered strategies will require significant donor support, and why I am happy to see people signing their commitments. I therefore thank all development partners, both those that pledges today and hopefully those who will do the after here, for generously pledging their commitment and resources towards increasing financing for social protection. We look forward to the actual implementation of this commitment. We have no doubt that this commitment will translate into actual disbursement for enhanced coverage. I have taken note of the recommendations in the call to action paper and pledge the commitment of government in implementing them. The poor people of the Gambia and the world deserve to see these recommendations implemented as soon as possible. With those remarks, I declare these 2 days, successful 2 days, the Gambia International Social Protection Conference officially closed, and wish everyone safe back home and a future of success. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you so much, Honorable Minister, for that brilliant statement on behalf of the Vice President of the Gambia, and to all the development partners. Thank you so much for recommitting to support social protection in the Gambia. Once again, to the participants, thank you so much for putting together the document, and also to the organizing committee of the National Social Protection Secretariat and other sectors in the organizing committee. Thank you so much for organizing such an... Yes. Sure. To the to the police band. Yeah, thank you. No, and she forgot me. Oh, she mentioned me. And yeah, she did. And I'm so jealous of her as well for benefiting from the school feeding program, you know, with WFP. Thank you so much, and to all partners. And now it is left to us now to go back to our respective sectors to ensure that we implement some of the recommendations that have been given here. That is what we want, so that when we gather next year, it's not us recalling for action, but actually identifying areas where actions have already been taken and that improvement is what is needed. And to the sign language interpreter, thank you so much for being here with us. As social protection, obviously, we have to be inclusive. And that is what we have been doing. And to our international delegates, to our regional delegates, thank you so much. So wish you all a successful rest of the day. Bye. Thank you. And now we can just head right on to lunch.